Ahoy, cruisers! You're tuned in to the All Aboard Cruising Podcast with your captain, Harry. This week, we've got a special guest on deck, Business Development Manager Jesse Finnemore from MSC Cruises. Jesse's giving us the inside scoop on the highly anticipated World America debut and what sets MSC Cruises apart from the rest. If you love cruising, you're not going to want to miss out. Grab your pina colada, find a deck chair, and let's set sail. All aboard!
All right, welcome on in. This is Captain Harry. You're here with me on the All Aboard Cruising Podcast. We're excited to come back here with our podcast, talking with all the different cruising professionals in the industry. We're really happy to have as our first guest from MSC Cruises, Jesse Finnemore. He's the Business Development Manager for New England and upstate New York. So we're going to talk about MSC Cruises and see what's happening. There's some new and exciting things happening, but thank you for joining me, Jesse.
Yeah, no problem, Harry. Happy to be here.
Awesome. That sounds good. And Jesse, how long have you been with MSC, and what's one of the last cruises that you went on?
Oh, that's a great question, Harry. So I'm actually pretty new to MSC. I just started about 2 months ago, but the last cruise I went on was personal. I think it was about 5 years ago, maybe 6. Yeah, about 6 years ago. I went on a 10-night sailing with one of my best friends through South and Central America. We left from New Orleans. It was a really great time. Yeah, I have one friend that I've cruised with for a long time, and I'm excited. We're cruising together. That was our last cruise 6 years ago. We're taking one again together again in about 8 weeks. So excited to see him and do that again.
Awesome. That sounds great. And I know there's lots of things happening with MSC, and exciting that you've jumped on board with them. And I know there's a big event coming next week with the World America. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? What's happening there down in Miami next week?
Yeah, we're really excited to be launching World America, which is our new flagship ship sailing out of Miami starting, the end of next week. It's a brand new ship for us. It's the sister ship to the World Europa that's been in Europe for about 2 years now. It's an amazing ship, holds about 6,000 people. It's got all the creature comforts that you'd want on a ship. We basically have a theme park on the ship in terms of a ropes course and a themed area. We have great water slides on the ship, amazing eateries. The first Eataly at sea is debuting on World America, which we're really excited about. We just picked our godmother, Drew Barrymore, who's going to be joining us on the ship next week. A little preview, we're actually going to be the second hour or the third hour of Good Morning America, I believe next Wednesday. We'll be on the ship as well live, which is really exciting. So it's going to be a great event. Not many people know this about MSC, but we are owned by a single family in Italy. And Mr. Onoratu, the owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, will actually be in attendance. So we're really excited to have him on this side of the world for a little while and show him, how we do it in America and, how his amazing line is performing here in the United States. So it's going to be a really amazing 3-day party to inaugurate the ship.
That sounds great. I've seen all the preliminary type of postings. The ship looks completely amazing. And it's awesome that Drew Barrymore is going to be the godmother. So there's going to be a christening and all that fun stuff going to be happening.
Oh yeah, of course. We know how to throw a party. We're a European company, so hospitality is at our core, and we absolutely know how to throw a party. And we're really excited to have a christening and a naming ceremony and all that fun stuff. One nice thing about the cruising industry is our deep history and our roots, and kind of the fun whimsy of the cruising industry are things like godmothers and naming ships. And when an airline buys a new airplane, they just put it into the next flight to Denver. But when we have a new ship, it's a bit more of a momentous occasion. We really like to treat it that way. So excited to have this celebration.
Awesome. Sounds great. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to Captain Harry here on the All Aboard Cruising Podcast. I've got Jesse Finnemore here from MSC Cruises. We're talking about all things MSC, the exciting debut of the World America. next week in the first week of April with Drew Barrymore as the godmother. Tell me a little bit more about MSC. I know there's a emerging presence here in North America. There's more and more ships, debuting here, and you have this unique place, the Ocean Cay. Tell me a little bit about that, how that is, and how that's a little different from some of the other private islands that cruise companies have.
Yeah, Harry. Well, I'll take the first part that you asked, kind of talking about MSC and our presence here in North America. So MSC is an offshoot of a family company, Mediterranean Shipping Company, which is one of the largest ocean shipping companies in the world, where it's cruise division. And we were started when that company looked at their, what they do best, which is, being an ocean faring company, and decided that why don't they take that knowledge of shipping and move it into cruising? And what it really meant was they had great relationships with the shipbuilders, so they could really build ships that they thought brought a European touch of elegance to the world of cruising that had kind of been lacking. So as a result, we have 23 ships now across the world and 5 in the United States. We're very excited about that. We have a number of different home ports here in the U.S. We home port out of Cape Canaveral, Florida. We home port out of New York City. We have our main home port in Miami, where we just invested in the largest cruise terminal in the United States with some amazing facilities, which is just opening up now. We have on-site parking and biometric scanning. We're going to get you on the ship faster than anybody in the industry and in style. We're also launching 2 new home ports when we talk about 2025 and 2026, which is Galveston, Texas, and Seattle, Washington. So we're going to be starting Alaska, which we're really excited about, and Galveston as well, which is an amazing market, an easy place to fly into with the big Houston airport there. So really excited to start those runs out of Galveston and Seattle, and obviously Seattle doing the classic Alaska itineraries with the special touch that MSC has. And I would say our brand differentiator here at MSC is, we're a European luxury with American comforts. So we love to have that feeling of an old European great hotel and the service that you'd receive there, but without with the comforts of the United States and the United States customer in mind. And when we look at that, there's no better identification of that kind of European elegance and American comforts than Ocean Cay. Ocean Cay is a real labor of love for us here at MSC. We took an island in the Bahamas, which is on the Bimini side of the Bahamas, about 60 miles due east of Miami. And this was an island that had been used for industrial purposes up until about the 1990s and had kind of been sitting dormant. And we worked with the Bahamian government in our deep interest in sustainability. Another cool thing about World America is actually the first cruise ship to run on liquid natural gas, which is a much more sustainable form of energy. So we looked at this island that we, wanted to be helpful with and use it for our purposes. And we worked with the Bahamian government in our shipping arm to not only recondition the island, but bring it up to an amazing standard that we have today, which is Ocean Cay, our marine reserve. That's something we really like to talk about. We have a special partnership with the University of Miami and Nova Southwestern University on the island. So there's constantly students and professionals there learning about the different marine life on the island and basically making sure that part of the rehabilitation of the island is being done properly. So it's very interesting there, and we're real stewards of that island. And Ocean Cay is really a marine reserve. Imagine the most beautiful tropical island you can imagine that is completely untouched. And it has beautiful beaches and beach bars and special areas for our yacht club guests and family beaches and abilities to do excursions and, all the creature comforts of the ship with buffets and bars and things of that nature. So it's really an amazing, unlike any other offering from any other cruise line, where we have this amazing unspoiled island paradise just to ourselves.
That sounds awesome, really. And I noticed there's quite a few sailings that go there from the Florida market here. Sometimes, 3 and 4 night, and sometimes a little longer. If you're looking for that getaway, if you're looking to make an escape, so to speak, and to go out to Ocean Cay, I mean, what better way to spend a weekend and recharge, really? I mean, it looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah, we have some great itineraries that stop at Ocean Cay, our 3 and our 4 night itineraries, obviously. It also bookends our 7 night itinerary. So, really great options there. Also, our 7-night itineraries out of New York on the Metavia stop there. I know your audience is heavily in New England. As we both are living here in New England. I think that option to drive to the ship is a nice option. Being able to get down there, it's an easy place to park at the Brooklyn Port. It's easy to get to. You can drive down, park your car, be on the ship in an hour, and then when you're finished, get done, get in your car, and drive home. So a really nice option for us New Englanders.
Awesome. That sounds great. And tell me a little bit about this, the late night and sometimes an overnight, and there's a light show. That sounds like it's really something different and something to really witness.
Yeah, no, that's I'm really glad you brought that up, Harry. Ocean Key was designed as a really a full day destination, and something we're really proud of is that we stay on a lot of sailings, we stay on the island much later into the night. So we have things like ocean dance parties on the beach, a white party on the beach, and our, kind of coup de grace, the thing that, puts the cherry on top of the sundae every night is our lighthouse show. So we've developed a kind of theatrical show based on our signature Ocean Key lighthouse. And, at the end of the night, around 11 o'clock or midnight, we start the show, and it's really something to see. And it's gotten amazing feedback from our guests. And it's, really one of the most Instagram moments in the cruising industry. So we're really excited about that. It's just a great way to end a day at Ocean Key and lock in those memories.
Yeah, the pictures and the videos I've seen look great, but I only can imagine what that's like in person. So that's definitely on my bucket list for sure to check that out. I love the late night stuff, the dance party on the beach. That sounds amazing. So I think we're checking a lot of boxes here, Jesse.
Awesome, Harry.
That sounds great. So you're here with Captain Harry and the All Aboard Cruising podcast. I'm talking with Jesse Finnemore here from MSC Cruises. We're talking here a bit about MSC Cruises, everything that's happening there. We just talked a little bit about the World America that's debuting, brand new ship next week out of Miami, and we talked a little bit about Ocean Key. When we come back, we're going to take a little break at the moment, but when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about some other itineraries that are available. As we mentioned, New York City, we've got some itineraries out of New York, but I also want to talk a little bit about the onboard experience for MSC. There's some unique things happening there on board, some of the favorite things, some of the things that you don't want to miss when you jump on board. So we'll be right back again here with Captain Harry on the All Aboard Cruising podcast. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
An MSC cruise isn't just a vacation, it's a holiday full of European style
and all the things Americans love too. Come on, Bloom, I need some buffalo wings. Stat.
There are a ton of football matches.
Games, football games. Woo!
Vorrei rigatoni alla matriciana, per favore.
Ah, signora.
But he said.
That is a big hat.
It's American. Of course it's big.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
No.
She just wants to dance.
You ready for some adrenaline, Bloom?
I was born ready. How high is that?
So high. Holiday! Was that good?
Dinner jacket.
Dinner t-shirt.
Privacy.
Privacy.
Architecture.
Sharkitecture.
Dude, there's a line.
Gelato.
Froyo.
Football.
Football.
Schedule.
Okay, now you're just doing it on purpose.
Want a vacation?
Don't you mean holiday?
My bad.
We should stop now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us here. Coming right back at you. This is Captain Harry, the All Aboard Cruising podcast. We're here a couple times a month now, relaunching our podcast. I'm always available to help folks with bookings. I work with Cruise Travel Outlet in Salem, New Hampshire. If you ever want to reach me, the best way is by email. I'm at harry@cruisetravaloutlet.com. That's harry@cruisetravaloutlet.com. And also on my cell, you can call me or text me, 603-425-3537, 603-425-3537. We're always going to get you the best rate, the best deal. We'll work with you. We'll work with groups, and we'll work with the single cabins, everything from an inside out to the yacht club. But I wanted to talk about what's happening here with MSC Cruises. We've got Jesse Finnemore from MSC here talking about MSC. And Jesse, tell me a little bit about the onboard experience. I know you talked about the European feel on board, but with North American flavors, I guess you mentioned. Tell me a little bit more about the feel of the onboard experience. And why don't we take a cruise on up to New York City? When folks get on the ship up in New York City, what's that experience going to be like?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, Harry. So I would say cruising on MSC Cruise Line is really different than a lot of other lines out there. We take a really, we're a European company, so we really care about our food, our beverage, and our culinary program. I like to say that as an Italian guy, I've tested our pizza, and I can say it's firmly the best pizza I've ever had on at sea. And we take great pride in that, making sure that all of our ingredients are fresh. And what we can, we fly in from Italy and from throughout the world. So really making sure that the cuisine you eat all over the ship, not just in the main dining room, but the fast casual establishments as well, are really top notch. We also take a lot of effort in designing our ships. I think we have a really first class design of our ships. One of our signatures is our Swarovski crystal staircases, which are in most of our ships, which is a really amazing photo opportunity for you and your guests when you come on board. We also have some amazing partnerships, for the kids in the family. We're the only cruise ship in the world that has a direct partnership with Lego. We're actually, our World America is sailing over right now from Europe where it was being built, and we just sent the Guinness Book of World Records yesterday for the longest string of Lego ships ever put together on a ship. So very cool thing that we're going to get to claim the fame of. And, as an adult that loves Legos, I'm pretty excited about it. But as a guy who has 4 nephews and 1 daughter who all love Legos, it's a really fun thing for the kids to have at sea. We also have a partnership with F1, where we're one of the title sponsors of F1, the racing series, and we have an F1 simulator on a lot of our ships. So really cool opportunities for not only mom and dad to go have a great meal and some great wine, but also a great opportunity for the kiddos to get out, get into the kids clubs. Our new kids club on World America is over 8,000 square feet, and we have it broken down for different areas, different age groups, and I always like to say with childcare costs, what they are here in New England, it'd probably be cheaper for me to live on a cruise and send my kids to the kids club every day than, nannies and things here in Boston. So, I think that's when we talk about the onboard experience, a lot of options for everybody is really what we specialize in. And when you look at New York and our cruises there with the Menavia, I think as a New Englander, to take out that flight and that trip to, whatever airport you choose to go to, and that flight down to Florida and the hotel room and the travel, when it's just, a simple 4-hour car ride away, our port is actually in Brooklyn. So it actually makes it a little easier. There's a great parking situation right there. Really in and out. You can park your car and be on the ship in under an hour, hour and a half. And you do a great itinerary. You're going to go down the coast to Port Canaveral for a day. You're going to spend a day at Nassau, and you're going to spend a day at Ocean Cay, and have a couple of sea days up and back. And that's a really beautiful ship. Was launched recently. Has our yacht club, which is something I'd love to chat about a little bit. Our yacht club is a very interesting position here in the cruising industry, as it's truly a ship within a ship. So our yacht club guests are really the highest level of luxury that we offer here at MSC. All the rooms are suites. All the rooms have Egyptian cotton sheets. All the rooms come with a 24-hour butler, 24-hour room service, unlimited premium beverage package, unlimited premium Wi-Fi. When you show up at the port, there's no lines. There's a man in a tuxedo with tails. I was on a ship about 3 weeks ago watching men with tuxedos and tails bring on our guests. That concierge service is available to you 24 hours a day, as long as you're on the ship. You want specialty dining brought into your room, that's no problem. You want to go to a restaurant, you want a spa treatment, you want your concierge to go take your daughter to the arcade to go play skee ball, he'll do that for you. So it's really an amazing luxury offering. And when you look at the prices, it can really shock people at, what a yacht club experience can go for.
That sounds amazing, really. I love the things you touched upon here. We have many clients that we work with at Cruise Travel Outlet that, love that type of experience, that level of service. And we know people actually that are booked with us that once they go to the yacht club, they stay with the yacht club, and they really do love that part of it. I also want to mention too, I had heard that MSC offers for those that return to the loyalty portions of our rewards programs of other cruise lines, that MSC offers a status match. Is that right?
Yeah, Harry, that's absolutely right. One of the coolest things we do here at MSC is that, we understand loyalty and we understand, you've worked hard and been loyal to other, not only cruise brands, but hotel brands. And, that loyalty can result in perks. And those perks are very real. And, it can be hard to get you out of that ecosystem. So as a result, we designed a status match system where it's very simple. I've actually done it myself. You go in, you take a screenshot of your status on whatever cruise line or hotel company you have. You send it in, and about 3 days later, you get an email back, and bing, bang, boom, your status is matched. So it's an amazing way to, come on to MSC with all the perks and things that you've had on the other lines or other hotel companies, and really be able to start at a level playing field where you wouldn't have to earn those things otherwise.
Yeah, that sounds great. And talk about, respecting, where people have cruised in the past, but, giving like that open door welcoming to clients. That's an amazing thing. I know not everyone does that in the cruising business. So, hats off to MSC for doing that. There was one thing that we didn't mention that I'm sure you're probably going to mention. You mentioned pizza, and I heard about their herbs and everything that they grow on board, and they're using all this fresh ingredients and stuff. But I also heard about gelato. Tell me about gelato.
Oh, I mean, of course, we're an Italian company. So pizza and gelato are incredibly important to us. And we have some of so the best gelato at sea, when you work for an Italian company, when you sell things like pizza and gelato, your standard is just going to be so much higher. As New Englanders, I imagine that you have the same frustration I do when you go to a restaurant for breakfast. If you're not in New England, frankly, sometimes if you are in New England, they'll give you the fake maple syrup, right? And you think to yourself, gosh, like, how did we do this? We gotta celebrate our production of maple syrup here in New England. So I think it's very similar with the Italian heritage at MSC, where if we're going to do those two things, we just have a standard and a level of doing things that is just so much higher than the rest of the industry based on our cultural background.
Love that. And there's nothing like understanding and appreciating those special things, those little things, but those little things mean a lot. I really do appreciate you joining us here today on the Captain Harry All Aboard Cruising podcast. We're just winding up here with our guest, Jesse Finnemore from MSC Cruises. We've talked quite a bit about what's happening with MSC, the new World America coming out next week from Miami with Drew Barrymore as the godmother. Lots of excellent opportunities there. There will be a lot of postings. We'll put up a lot of stuff on our Facebook page. We'll put stuff up on our YouTube page. And our podcast here, we're reemerging with this back out. And again, we'll be posting this back out for folks, and you can find that anywhere you find your podcast. My son, Nate Magoon, will be doing the editing to these broadcasts. He's an executive producer. And so we'll look for him to freshen this up. And but thank you so much, Jesse, for your time. You've given us a lot of great information, and we'll probably have you back again, maybe another podcast, or maybe do a webinar with some of our interested clients that are looking to go on an MSC cruise.
Yeah, I'd love to meet your clients. Love to do anything I can to get people on MSC. It's an amazing brand and an amazing product, and hope to see you and all your friends and customers on one of our ships very soon.
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, for listening. This is Captain Harry and the All Aboard Cruising podcast. We'll come back at you again very soon with our second debut of our additional podcast here. Thank you to my guest, Jesse Finnemore from MSC. Take care, everyone. Be safe and happy cruising.
Thanks for tuning in to the All Aboard Cruising Podcast. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and look out for new episodes in the future, featuring special giveaways and deals. Until then, we'll see you on the next voyage.